Kerajaan memahami kos sara hidup semakin meningkat. Ini akan menekan golongan 40. Justru hari ini saya ingin mengumumkan di Dewan ini bahawa kerajaan telah meluluskan pelaksanaan gaji minima sebanyak RM1,500.
Starting from May 1st, 2022, the government has set a 25% increase of minimum wage from RM1,200 to RM1,500. This amendment only applies to private sector companies with a minimum of 5 workers and government-linked companies. After discussions from the councils of how this would affect micro, small and medium-sized enterprises or MSMEs, the minister had decided to put a hold on the policy for MSMEs, as small businesses are still recovering from the effects of COVID-19. According to a statement by Dato Sri M. Saravanan, the Minister of Human Resources, the exemption for MSMEs may cover a period of about 2 years, giving them a chance to get their operations and financials back on track in the meantime.
Hi, Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Madam Azita Doli. My name is Nurul Rabiah binti Muhammad Zahir. So today we're going to present our assignment, which is we chose the minimum wage issues in Malaysia as our main topic based on our observation of current issues related to human resource management in Malaysia. This is due to the fact that this issue has always been a hot topic among Malaysians. Many studies have shown that Malaysians' minimum wage is low and stable, even after accounting for different productivity levels across countries. An analysis of which of productivity ratio shows that Malaysian workers are still paid less than in a benchmark economies. The minimum wage has no effects on government employees. In fact, the minimum wage for government employees is significantly higher, which is 1,200. Meanwhile, the minimum wage for government employees has been set up to 1,500 in states such as Penang, Selangor and Johor.
Assalamualaikum and good day to Madam Azita Doli binti Muhammad Arifin and everyone. My name is Irnayanti binti Salim, 2021-488-222. Today, I will be discussing the critical factors that play a role in determining the minimum wage. First factor is cost of living. Decision made on minimum wage must ensure that the minimum wage is sufficient to cover basic needs and maintain a decent standard of living for workers in different parts of the country. Second factor is productivity of the workforce. Minimum wage should not be set too high to the point where it becomes unaffordable for businesses, but also not be set too low to the point where it fails to provide a decent income for workers. Third factor is current economy. The minimum wage should be set to promote economic growth and stability. Fourth factor is needs of industries. Some industries may have higher operating costs or require specialized skills, which can influence the minimum wage. And last factor is inputs and recommendations from stakeholders. The view and input from various stakeholders, including employers, employee, trade union and government agencies, are considered during the discussion to fix a minimum wage. They offer insightful analysis and different viewpoints on how the minimum wage can affect companies and the overall economy. Next, my fellow member will explain effect and impact of minimum wage. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Maisara binti Yasin and I will explain about impact of minimum wage in Malaysia. First point is unable to sustain. Employee might have to reduce costs such as labor expenses if they cannot recover or sustain the businesses. This could mean lowering wages, laying off workers, or essentially the unemployment rate could increase on how well companies manage their economic challenges and increasing labor costs. Second point is low-income workers. Minimum wage law in Malaysia have a big effect on low-paid workers. Some workers benefit from higher living standards when the minimum wages goes up. However, for small businesses, higher labor costs due to minimum wage increases can lead to challenges like moving job or job losses. Third point is increase in revenue. From a basic economic standpoint, raising the minimum wage is expected to increase production, which should lead to higher income. In fact, if this does not happen, there is a risk of inflation due to higher production costs. According to Department of Statistics Malaysia Q4 2021 Labour Productivity Report, labour productivity only increased by 1.7% measured by value added per employment. Among relevant industries, only manufacturing and services show increases with 6.8% and 0.5% respectively. Construction, mining, and agriculture all experienced decline of 4.3%, 3.4%, and 8.3% respectively. When labour productivity fails to keep up with the minimum wages hikes, it can lead to higher living costs. Consequently, higher earnings may not necessarily improve employees' quality of life or purchasing of power. Raising the minimum wage in Malaysia could make the country less competitive globally compared to its neighbours. Minimum wages in Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, Indonesia, Philippines, Laos, Myanmar are significantly lower than Malaysia by around 43.99%, 41.14%, 43.21%, 11.63%, 36.98%, 69.63%, and 90.22% respectively. Reduced foreign investment could further slow down Malaysia's economic recovery.
The minimum wage implementation in Malaysia was first enforced in 2013 after the Minimum Wages Order 2012 was introduced. Some of the reasons include unjust income advancements plus the increased cost of living. The amount was set based on recommendations from the National Wages Consultative Council, followed by consultations from relevant stakeholders throughout the country. It started with a minimum wage of 900 ringgit per month in West Malaysia and 800 ringgit per month in East Malaysia. The increment rate has been consistently rising by 100 ringgit almost every 2 years since. The last increase was from 1,100 ringgit to 1,200 ringgit in 2020. That's about a 9% difference. The increment for 2022 will be a 25% hike, and we can't deny that's a very huge jump. As with many debatable situations, there are several.
I will move to the data statistic minimum wage in Malaysia. Malaysia implement a minimum wage for the first time in 2040 in an effort to help low-income families and amid concern that the government will call elections shortly. On January 1st, 2040, the peninsular minimum wage of 900 ringgit per month and 800 ringgit in Sabah and Sarawak and Labuan will be fully implemented. As of July 1st, 2016, the Malaysian government increased the minimum wage payment to workers. The monthly minimum salary will rise up to 1,000 ringgit, while the minimum wage in Sabah, Sarawak and Labuan will rise up to 920. It is part of Malaysia's new economy model, which seeks to transform the country into a high-income economy by 2020. Officials hope that the increased cost to firms will stimulate to move toward increased productivity and technology investment, reducing reliance on labor-intensive industrial method. In 2019, budget speech, Finance Minister Lim Guang Eng stated that the new national minimum wage will be raised up at 1,000 ringgit. The move is one of the government's strategies for existing citizens in coping with growing living costs. For 2020, the minimum wage is now 1,200 per month, an increase of 100 ringgit from 2019. The increase is meant to alleviate high living costs in Malaysia's cities and towns, and it is in keeping with the government political coalition pledge to achieve an 1,500 minimum wage object within the first 5 years of its administration. Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum Madam. My name is Farah Amira binti Rosaimi. I'm from BH44. Next, about the existing solution. So for the existing solution, for minimum wage in Malaysia, we have been revised several times since it's introduced in 2012. However, now it's going debate about whether the current issue is sufficient to meet the rising race cost living in the country. So now for the private sector, employee in Malaysia will receive a monthly minimum wage increase from 1,200 to 1,500, which is expected to improve their livelihood. This provide worker will be a better standard of living and have some of the financial burden by their face. It also can promote economic growth, reduce income inequality, and ensure fair pay for the workers. By increasing the minimum wage, workers will have more disposable income, which will turn stimulate consumer spending and boost the economy. Overall, this need to continuous evaluation and improvement to address the evolving need to the workforce and ensure the compensation for all the employees. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, next I'll be sharing the recommendation for this topic, which is this is two of our recommendation. The first one is implement trade. Protectionism is in order to increase value of Malaysian currencies. The advantage of this method is it will give indirect impact on economy growth through the variety of channels such as efficient resources allocation, increased capacity utilization, and others due to foreign market competition. The disadvantage of this method is domestic product will degrade in quality and become more expensive in foreign competitor. So our second recommendation is to increase the labor skill sets and productivity that will make workers demand more wage. The advantage of this method is the government will have a more stable currency to form, sustain and grow an innovative economy. Meanwhile, the disadvantage of this method is it will have a conflict with non-participant due to the company's employees that will not be eligible to engage to their job.
Okay, last but not least, for the conclusion is it's important to ensure that minimum wage policy is enforced effectively to prevent employers from exploiting workers and paying them below the minimum wage. So the government can also provide incentive to employer who pay their workers about the minimum wage to encourage for compliant policy. In summary, the conclusion for minimum wage in Malaysia is that the government must continue to monitor and adjust the minimum wage policy in line with the economy and social development to ensure that workers are paid a fair salary for their work. That's all. Thank you.
Having a higher minimum wage is indeed important. After all, everyone has the right to earn a fair wage. The national wage objectives have big ambitions. However, the decision to increase the minimum wage and the implementation of it thereafter is not that straightforward. There are many effects and factors to take into consideration as they will greatly impact the livelihoods of people, the survivability of businesses, and the recovery of the economy.
So a quick update guys, on April 24th, the Prime Minister has assured that the increment of minimum wage will still be implemented on May 1st, even after numerous suggestions and appeals to it.